everyone, welcome back to the bookshelf, or welcome if you're new. I'm Grace, and you might have noticed that the set looks a little different today. We have some pumpkins, we have some leaves, we have some fall decor, and that is because we are talking about the perfect books to read this fall. So I know it's not technically fall for everybody. When I'm filming this, it's only the beginning of September, so not all of the temperatures have matched the vibes, as it were. However, that is not stopping anybody from enjoying their pumpkin spice lattes and their pumpkin chai teas. If you're like me, I love a pumpkin chai tea with some non-dairy cold foam. Books that sort of fit the fall aesthetic. Because when you think of fall, you think of school, first of all, whether you're in or out of school, just a crispness in the air that makes you think of academia, makes you think of reading, makes you think of not so many summer adventures, but more laying back, staying in the era of the introverts. Fall is always for the introverts. And then reading, learning, practicing your knowledge. And so these are some of my favorite books, and I'll tell you where I found them, and I will tell you my rating of them, and we'll just have a little chat because here's the thing. I know that fall is called basic, and it's like the basic white girl season. Let me tell you something. If you are someone who finds joy in making other people feel bad about their excitement about stuff, like stuff that's not harming anyone, like listening to Christmas music in November. Does that kill anyone? Does that harm anyone? No. No, it doesn't. If you want to listen to Christmas music in July, is that hurting anyone? No. If you want to decorate for Halloween in September, is that hurting anyone? No. No, it's not. If you want to have a pumpkin spice latte in August, even though it's technically not August, but the drink came out, is that harming anyone? No. And if you're someone who hates on all of that and calls it basic and dumb, just unsubscribe now. Because I only like to have, fun people here. And ruining people's joy is not fun at all, for anyone. This is Witches Run Amok, The Oral History of Hocus Pocus, by Shannon Carlin. And I found this book at Target last fall, and I still haven't read it. Listen, freshman year was rough. Freshman year, I was very busy doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have been doing, that were kind of a waste of time. But now we're back. And this semester, I'm locking in, okay? This goes into, in case you've lived in a bunker for the last 30 years, Hocus Pocus is arguably, the most famous fall movie. It's Gilmore Girls show, famous fall show, and then it's Hocus Pocus famous fall movie. When it's September, I'm feeling the inkling that I need to watch Hocus Pocus again. Because it takes place on Halloween. I don't think I need to tell you that. But I'll just read you the inside cover. In July 1993, Disney's Hocus Pocus, starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, did not immediately find success, with box office numbers falling far below what was envisioned. Yet somehow, the Halloween movie, released in the middle of the summer to little fanfare, has become an enduring and widely loved classic. 3 decades after the film's initial release, it's a yearly holiday viewing tradition in households around the world, becoming a not-so-scary rite of passage for kids and their parents, many of whom grew up watching the film about the resurrected witchy trio with their own moms and dads. Hocus Pocus is a movie that has few, if any, equals. It manages to span a generational divide, uniting boomers and zoomers in their nostalgic love for the boundary-pushing, supernatural comedy that in some ways seemed a little too risque for the millennial kids it was originally intended for. So how did a movie that didn't catch an initial spark end up casting such a spell on mainstream culture? Witches Run Amok answers that question and more. Using interviews from the cast and the creative team behind the heartwarming Halloween staple, the book is a love letter to Hocus Pocus's millions of devoted fans and a fascinating read for anyone who wants to understand how the Disney movie became a pop culture phenomenon. That was a long jacket cover. Also, I don't know if you can hear the whining, but my dog is my filming buddy, as per usual. Say hi, buddy. As we know, the 90s are peak. The 90s are very popular in pop culture for representing Halloween because it was a time when life was not too complicated. In the 90s, it was a time of flourishing pop culture, and it reminds us all of being kids on Halloween when we didn't have the pressures of classes and jobs, and we just got to um, put on a costume and get candy. And I think Hocus Pocus is one of my favorite movies as well because you get the idea that the witches aren't really evil, they're more playful. And I think that's what makes it more family friendly because, like, they said it was risque, and I'm like, have you seen movies from today? Oh, that is not risque at all. So the next one is not a Halloween specific book, but just fall in general, and it is called Cozy: The British Art of Comfort by Laura Weir. And it basically is nonfiction, much like the first book, but it basically goes into all of the details of coziness and defining what the word means beyond the fact that it's been overused by literally everyone on the internet since like 2010. But it goes into like fall movies and cooking and like, for example, I just flipped to a random page and there's a recipe for Minan's cottage pie. It has recipes, it has movie lists, it has like what you would wear in the fall. And it talks about how in the fall, part of the reason why we love it is that there's not the pressure of summer. Like in the summer, because the weather isn't, 40 or 0 degrees wherever you live, um, people are like, let's go out, let's do things. And like, if you're a woman, there's a certain amount of pressure for your body to look just so because you might be in a bathing suit more or wearing more clothing that shows more skin than you would in the winter. So you put more pressure on yourself to look better, be more extroverted, be go, 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 go. And everybody wants to have fun and have parties, especially for the 4th of July. And in the fall, it's just more about not doing that. It's more about like, let's stay in, let's have a movie night. You're wearing chunky clothes, so you don't really care what you look like because nobody can really tell what you look like because you're wearing chunky clothes. And you can basically wear whatever you want. Comfort takes the forefront of the conversation over, like summer fashion and summer trends. You don't have to do like pedicures really because you're not wearing open toed shoes, which I think is fabulous. I ordered this off of Amazon because where Barnes and Noble fails, Amazon's gotcha. And before everyone's like, how dare you not support small businesses? Sometimes I want an overnight delivery, okay? Sorry, Shayla. A little section. Meditation reduces stress, promotes happiness, and increases calm. Coziness does the same thing with the added anesthetizing layer of a pair of socks and some jogging bottoms softened through years of wear. Coziness is as lighthearted as it is profound, and there are moments of introspection to be found as you stir milk into your cup of tea, make a simple warming lunch, or stop and listen to the thunder and rain. This one is technically a children's book, but I don't think that's ever stopped anyone. And this is Ghosts by Raina Telgemeier. And it talks about the Dia de los Muertos. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm very tired today, but um, it talks about a girl who moves to a new town and they have all these fall traditions. So if you have kids or you have younger siblings, this might be perfect for them or it might be perfect for you. It's a graphic novel, which means that you also get like the added benefit of the fall illustrations, such as these. Very foggy, very misty. I got this over 4th of July, I think 2 summers ago, and I was not able to wait for fall, basically. I started decorating for fall early because I read this book, and it also ignited a real spark in me to learn about other cultures, because I had no idea what some of the cultural events were that were discussed in the book. And so I really wanted to learn more about that, and I didn't really think of that before I read this book, but the characters talked about it like it was so commonplace that I wanted to advance what I know more than just myself. And then the next one is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, a classic. I was actually just watching the movie this morning with my cereal and cheese. And a lot of people, they don't want to read J.K. Rowling's books anymore, and that's a personal decision. That's completely fine. Um, but me personally, for me personally, it is very personal for everyone. Like the line that blurs between being able to enjoy something and it being tainted by what you think of the person, personally, opinion wise. But like me personally, I've always been able to separate writers from books. With music, it's a bit harder because I tend to be more invested in that. So I do need to like the person, what I know about them, in order to enjoy their music. But with writers, it's very different for me. So I'm still able to read and enjoy Harry Potter, and I post about it sometimes. But it's different for everybody. So you can leave this one off your list if you want. But I think that Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is absolutely perfect for fall. It's been acknowledged for a long time that Harry Potter is perfect for fall in general. But between Hogwarts and friendship and the idea of finding yourself and belonging is kind of what fall is all about, because you're spending more time reflecting. You're not as busy and hectic as you are during the summer. We have a special collection of Edgar Allan Poe, and I don't think you'd believe me if I told you I found this at Costco. Because if you're not from America, you obviously can tell from my accent that I am American. And I think it's funny how it's not considered an accent when you live in the place that the accent is from. It's just how people talk. But people that I go to school with that aren't American definitely do say that there are different American accents. So if you can tell from my accent, I'm American, and I got this at a Costco back when they sold books. Because I think Tesco is basically the British version of Costco, if I'm correct. I've tried to learn about your culture as well, and uh, I found this back when they sold books. They don't anymore, which is very, very sad. I loved going to Costco with my dad and finding books in the book bin. Um, But this is basically it has gold like edges. It's very pretty. It's like a special edition. It's amazing. But it's the Edgar Allan Poe book, and it's his collected works. And if you've been watching the show Wednesday on Netflix, I actually have a novelization of season 1 up there. Um Edgar Allan Poe is sort of this like mythical figure in the background because he's a huge influence on Nevermore. Quoth the Raven, Nevermore, I think is the line from his poem. And I promise I'm a writer. I just don't remember every single thing that's ever been written by any dead author ever. But I think that's how it works, and that's obviously Nevermore Academy from the book. That it's like darker colors, it's more maroon, that it's less bright and summery, much like the Wednesday show on Netflix. And I'm so excited to actually watch the second part of season 2 on Netflix. I have been trying to avoid like fan theories online. And if you've been seeing the Tyler Galpin season 2 thirst trap edits on TikTok, I see you, 13-year-old girls, and please stop. Please trust me. He's a psychopath. That's not someone that you want to make an edit of. Okay? But I think it reflects maybe some relationship ideals that we should discuss. However, there's this beautiful picture of a house in the back. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming back to the bookshelf to hang out with me and to find, some great reads for fall. I am really excited about this fall because, last fall I was going through a big period of self-discovery because I was starting college and I wasn't really sure if I was going to keep writing. And then as we progress, into the spring and summer, when I started my YouTube channel and I started meeting all you guys online, I started learning more about what I want, and I started being more confident, a lot more confident. Especially this fall, I feel like things are really kicking into gear. Also, like me starting a club, that's really exciting. And also like the knowledge that my content is having an influence on people. Like I've been working really hard, like go on content, make videos, edit videos, put out videos, engage, always engage, repost, comment on other people's stuff, like message. It's a lot of work to start building up a social media brand, which I think I'm doing pretty good at so far. But it's weird because when I started going to school this new semester this fall, people were recognizing me from my content, and like people were trying to talk to me that maybe didn't want to talk to me before, and like people were recognizing me and sort of like watching me out of the corner of their eyes, and or just like directly wanting to meet me, which is great. um and like when people, when I was starting to advertise for my club, there's a lot of overlap with that, so then there was a lot of excitement about both of those things intersecting. And it's just like it's really weird, like mentally to wrap your head around that, but also it's really cool to know that my content that I work so hard on is having an influence that I can see. Like I can see the visible excitement that people have about like my club ideas or like my content, and it's really fun and really weird all at the same time, but weird in a fun way. Just to clarify, I'm never mad about any of that because that's what I worked for, obviously. And make sure to follow me on social media if you want to see what I'm talking about when I say my content. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. Instagram is how you would be involved in like community stuff. Like I do polls for videos and topics and Q&As. So if you want to be involved, follow me on there. I'm hoping to get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year if you want to help with that. So that'd be great. And make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, if you want to see more of this, because I do so appreciate a subscription. It really does brighten my whole day. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!